was madness.
She was so anxious about it that she did not post about the ribbon cutting until 24 hours before. There was like 10,000 people just lined up in the mall.
When I was cutting the ribbon, I could see the Nordstrom that I put in my 2 weeks notice to do YouTube.
Shut up.
I was so emotional. I went back and launched my lipsticks, which then became the biggest cancellation in the beauty community, I would think.
Everything that she had worked for crashed.
We sold hundreds of thousands of SKUs. I worked on my lipsticks for years, okay? And my audience believing in me has always been my number one thing. I could not turn on my phone without seeing something about me. And it wasn't just about the lipsticks. People were digging into my father. He was a narcissist and she's just like her father. That period of my life bloated and got so inflamed. I was going through one handle in like 3 days. That's why I reference this time of my life when I say it was the hardest time of my life.
Jaclyn Hill did another podcast. She's busy. She's been very busy. We're going to be talking about the dissection and elimination and splitation. And we're going to just cross-examine and deflect Jaclyn Hill's new podcast that she came out with. I have it right here. It's basically part 2. I'm going to dissect this whole entire thing. So I'm really excited to be doing this. I don't really do long format videos because, you know, she's very booked. She's very busy. And I was like, well, let's do one. Just do one for the book. So how we're going to do it is we're going to watch it together and I'm going to interject. I have an objection and I'm going to just chime in and we're going to just talk about it all. Okay? Because I was there for all of it. I have been in the DMs with Jaclyn the Hill. So I know a lot of behind the scenes tea. A lot of people like, because I'm very, you know, the clown with the crown. I know a lot of behind the scenes tea. Even people who don't even mess with Jaclyn Hill anymore. I talk to them. So we're going to be, you know, doing what it do. Let me know what you think about that. Before I get started, please leave a like on this video. God forbid you hit the like button. Okay? And also leave a comment. Tell me happy birthday. How about that? It's my birthday month. So let's get this started and hope you enjoy. So grab a snack, come on back, listen to this in the background because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Here we go.
She was so anxious about it that she did not post about the ribbon cutting until 24 hours.
Okay, guys, we're watching it. Here we go.
There was like 10,000 people just lined up in the mall.
When I was cutting the ribbon,
This was the heydays, guys. This was when Jaclyn Hill
I could see the
could
Nordstrom
sell all that
I
stuff.
put in my 2 weeks notice to do YouTube.
Shut up.
I was so emotional. I went back and launched my lipsticks, which then became the biggest cancellation in the beauty community, I would think.
Everything that she had worked for crashed.
We sold hundreds of thousands of SKUs. I worked on my lipsticks for years, okay? And my audience believing in me has always been my number one thing. I could not turn on my phone without seeing something about me. And it wasn't just about the lipsticks.
I see tea spill.
We're digging into my...
Oh, they didn't show my videos. I've spent my life documenting Jaclyn Hill's dramas and they couldn't even post my video, guys.
father. He was a narcissist and she's just like her father.
I've said that. I have said that Jaclyn Hill is a narcissist.
My life bloated and got so inflamed. I was going through one handle in like 3 days. That's why I reference this time of my life when I say it was the hardest time of my life. You guys ready for this?
I am. Yes, I am.
Grab the popcorn.
Let's go, Jaclyn Hill! Oh, girl. Like they're gonna eat carbohydrates, okay. Okay. So, let me go ahead and just pass this boring intro. Alright, so I'm gonna clock the T if Jaclyn Hill's lying or not. Of course, they're giving us a dramatic intro. I'm really excited to see how this turns out, you know, and I'm gonna be watching it at a faster pace. But not too fast, right? Just a little faster pace. So we will, playback speed, we'll go like right here? Okay, here we go, guys.
Hit that notification bell, don't forget to like.
No, that's way too fast. Okay, here we go. We'll do it right here. There we go, guys.
A few times.
Thank you.
Just a couple.
She's going to charge us for that.
Yeah, frick. Gotta start saving up. Okay, let's dive into this makeup world.
Yes.
I know.
Keep in mind, folks, that Jaclyn Hill, back in when she first came out and was doing her Morphe palettes and stuff, she would sell out very quickly. She was that girl. She could sell out a pallet and made millions. She made so much money just because, in my opinion, at the right time, at the right place, she was hidden. Nowadays, she can't sell a pallet to save her life. Neither can Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner's not selling out either. The times have changed. It's a sign of the times.
A very like overview, no details type of thing. Taylor has freaking no clue what, if you've been canceled, how you have been and why you have been.
Another thing I want to add is like, how does she make any money? Like, is she just living off the Morphe residuals? Because I haven't seen her make a pallet, do anything really significant. Like, how is she making any money? She just like sugar mama the house, just living off the, you know? And the fact that, you know how much money she probably wasted? And I've been hearing rumors that Linda from Morphe owns her house in Florida and the one in California. I heard that too, but that's just rumors. Here we go.
I'm so excited.
I love that.
Yeah, honestly.
The popcorn is nearby, right? Okay, great.
I will be just here.
Yes.
I'm gonna just do this for everyone's ears.
The sound of the crunch is so good, though. Like, it just makes
Yeah.
it sound
It does actually sound nice.
Like when something's good.
And I just want to further add, I'm probably the most qualified to do these videos because I have done extensive research.
Dave and Taylor's like,
I actually do feel like you would be really good at ASMR videos.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, she wouldn't make them. She's so lazy.
with a little bit of his voice acting.
Because God forbid, like, she would like one video a month. I'm like, damn, Jaclyn, like, you were such blessed to make such a great career, just one video a month. I think she made a lot of money. She's like, I don't gotta post on videos no more.
Well, that's good. I
Yeah.
like it.
Sprinkle it over. Okay. So let's start from the beginning of makeup.
I would appreciate that.
What got you into makeup?
My mom and my sister were glam girls, like glam all the way. My
Robin?
grandmother.
Your
I
mom,
love that.
Robin?
So, at the beginning, I'm like, so grandma.
In 1912.
Literally, my grandma was such a glam girl that she would not check the mail without a full face of makeup on. A glam girl. She's a Mary Kay girl.
That's me.
All the things, yes. So
Very
it's like
much me.
in the family's blood to be a glam beauty girl. And my mom always let me express myself with makeup from a very young age that I'm very grateful for. Because, you know, a lot of moms are really strict. A lot of dads are really strict.
Right.
My mom was always just like, have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. You're not going to go out looking like a clown. But when I was home, I was allowed to play with makeup as much as I wanted. So all the makeup that my mom and my sister would buy and not like, or it would dry out or something, whatever it was, they'd put it in a shoebox. And I would keep that shoebox in my room. And then that was my play makeup. And that started when I was like 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, super young.
Oh, so this is like, it's in
A
your
long
blood.
time coming.
Always been into
Yeah.
makeup. Always did my girlfriend's makeup for, you know, all their school dances. I was homeschooled, so I didn't get to like do any of those things.
wow.
But seriously, I didn't get to do those things.
Wait, I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know I was homeschooled?
Like,
whole life.
your whole life?
I got pulled out. Here we go. We're gonna get deep again. Sorry. When I was in 3rd grade, I got pulled out because I was so badly bullied. I was beat up. Yeah, I was beat up pretty bad,
wow.
actually. It was the day of the book fair, and my mom gave me $50 to go buy books. I loved books. Loved it. I had a huge collection. And I mean, I was young. I was 8 years old, right? I was 8 years old. I'm looking at him as if he was there.
And you got jumped to the book fair?
I did. I got jumped to the book fair. I can obviously talk about it in a light way now, but it was really awful. I was really badly bullied in school. And not for any reason other than there was a few of us girls who were just bullied. They were just mean. They just like spit on us and push us off the playground and things like that. And then one day at the book fair, I
here
was like in one
comes
of the
a
back aisles
soft,
looking. I literally remember
sad
looking across
song
the
and
book,
dance.
and some
Pull
three
at
girls
the
came up to me and they're like, we know
heartstrings.
you have money. We know that you've got money on you to buy books. And they kicked my ass, gave me a bloody nose, punched me in the stomach, kicked me in the head. And my mom was like, we're pulling you out. So my parents pulled me out and homeschooled me.
Did they want the money?
Yeah, they took my $50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Now, looking back, I don't remember. I'm sure I bragged. I'm sure at some point earlier in the day, I was like, I have $50 to buy books. Like, I'm sure I was so excited.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it still does
Yeah.
not in any way excuse it, but I'm sure I was very much giving that energy. Like, I could not wait to get my Arthur on,
Wow, so the book fair was your last chapter of public school.
period.
Let's stick with the weed one from last episode.
That was really good. Okay,
Yeah.
so then back to the happier note.
Yeah.
When did you start making like makeup videos? Like what was that time?
Yeah, so I was 21 years old, and I was working at the MAC store. I worked at MAC Cosmetics, which is a makeup store. I worked there for 4 years.
Got it.
wow.
And I worked at all different locations throughout Boston, Chicago, and Tampa. Every time I moved, because things were very unstable in my life at that time, you know, and so because of things being very rough and very unstable, we were just looking for places to sleep, looking for family members to like take us in.
Yeah.
And I worked at all 3 different locations of those 3 cities. And when I was working at the Chicago Woodfield Mall, I discovered a couple of girls on YouTube, and this was so new. Like this was like no one had more than 50,000 subscribers. Like this was
Yeah,
new.
I
It was
remember
phenomenal.
that.
And I thought it was so cool that people were recording themselves doing this online. I was like, holy,
That
moly,
was
I've never
fun.
seen anything like that ever.
Yeah.
So
That was back
I
when you
decided I was
couldn't
doing
make
makeup a
money
client
on
one day
YouTube.
in the MAC store, and she was like, you would be so good at something like that. I was like, really? So my mom bought me a camera. It took over a month to get to me because she bought it online. It was like $50. It shipped from Hong Kong. It took like 6 weeks to get to me.
Wow.
And the very first video I ever filmed, I actually deleted because it was literally so bad that I was like, this cannot remain on my YouTube channel. This was awful. It was filmed on my actual like web camera. It was so bad.
We might need to see it.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
But I do still have like I think I deleted like my first 2, but the rest of them are still there. So I used my lamp, my Pure One Imports lamp as my lighting, and stood there with my little camera and got to work.
Love it.
Had no clue it could be a job. Did not even know that was a thing.
So you were just filming yourself?
Yeah, how'd you know what you were doing? You were just winging it?
I was just winging it, quite literally. I did a wing eyeliner tutorial in that video.
Oh,
Wow.
So I wung it. I just
big Jaclyn Hill fan.
So back in that time, I remember like you couldn't make money on YouTube. Back in the early days, you just made videos for the fun of it, and that's how I got started. You know, when I was making videos, you couldn't make money off of it. I just made videos for fun, just to express my creativity, and then later on, you could start getting money off of it, and it wasn't that much, and then it turned into more, and it was like, okay, wow, and then that's when the floodgates opened. Here we go.
I got on camera and I'm like, hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a look of Kim Kardashian on the cover of Glamour magazine. And I just did it. And I had no clue what would come of it. And I was like, Mom, you promise you're not going to tell anybody. This is so embarrassing. And then my really good friend, Micah, she posted it. She put it on her Facebook. She's like, you need to be proud. This is so cool. I was so humiliated. But I stuck to it because I started getting people commenting on my videos, just being like, oh, thanks so much for teaching me about this eyeshadow. Or thanks so much. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm like helping girls out.
Yeah.
And then that just snowballed. I mean, I didn't make a penny, not $1 for, at least 6 months because I didn't know it could be a job.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I got my first email from Google saying like, you're now eligible to make money through Google AdSense off of ads. And I was like, what? Like lost my mind. Oh my gosh. Got my first paycheck for $300. Screamed and cried.
Yeah.
I was like, all I have to do is just make videos and teach girls makeup. Like I get to play with makeup on camera and then make $300. Like this is a dream.
Yeah.
And then that snowballed.
How long had you been doing, YouTube,
Yeah.
building your online presence until you did your first Morphe collab?
Okay, hold on, let me think. It feels like it was so much longer than it actually was. I want to say, I keep looking at you for answers, even though you were not there this period of life. No, it was not. I want to say my first Morphe collab was like four years in.
It was a favorites
Maybe even
palette.
3. It was not that far in at all.
Oh,
Wow.
I just
I didn't
got
know
there
that.
quickly. Think about it. I started working with them like 10 years ago.
The
My career's
Jaclyn
only
Hill
13 years in.
podcast.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
How much had you grown online between that time?
When I collabed with Morphe, I was well over 1 million followers on YouTube. Yeah, I was like around there. So I was like 1 million followers in, yeah. Morphe and I really grew together. It's a makeup brand. I discovered them really, really, really early on. They only had one small store in Burbank. And then I'm the one that blew Morphe up. And I don't say that in a way of like cocky
Wow.
or arrogance. I say that because that is a fact.
Yeah.
So I'm best friends. As
Yeah, I
you
was
guys
gonna
know.
say,
I wouldn't say she blew Morphe up, but she did popularize it. Because if it wasn't for her, they would have went with James or Jeffrey or Manny or somebody else, whoever was popular at that time, eventually.
Say that. I was gonna say they've become friends now with my best friend Linda.
Yeah.
She was the founder of Morphe and then sold the company after a couple of years of us doing business. And I mean, her and her brother will very gladly tell you that I was the one that they were like, what the hell just happened? Their website crashed. They had thousands upon thousands of orders. They had to hire all new staff. They were sleeping in their warehouse on mattresses. They're like, what just happened?
Wow.
She reached out. She's like, do you want to become an affiliate? And we can create a code for your followers to save money. I was like, why would they save money? Your eyeshadows are only $2.
Jack
They don't need to
attack.
save any more money. Like no one does. Like your brushes are $4 a piece. And she was like, well, no, we could still create a code where your followers earn where you earn commission,
Yeah.
and then your followers would also get 10% off. So it's like a win-win. And I was just very much like, I don't see the point in this because like
What?
it's so inexpensive. No one needs to save money,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how much opportunity there was in like making money
Maybe
in that. And
money
she's
hungry?
like, please, just like let me do this. That way, like I can pay you back and you can earn money. And I was like, okay. So I told my audience, hey, use code Jack Attack, and then I was like, oh, they love this. I mean, like just the first time I talked about code Jack Attack, there was over 100,000 people that used that code.
Wow.
Like just like immediately. So then we got into business together, and then they expanded their affiliate program to hundreds of content creators after that.
So it was Linda, or Linda
Except-
and Chris. from the very
Except
beginning
me, Morphe never gave me a code. I'm still waiting on my code.
that owned the
Code RichLux. Hashtag RichLux in the chat, guys. You made this part of the video. Okay, here we go.
company when before it blew up,
Yep.
and when you reached out to them and talked to them for the first time.
Yep.
That's where your relationship with Linda goes back to.
Yep.
And guys, if you're watching, please like the video. I appreciate that so much. We're listening to the Jaclyn Hill podcast.
I know, 10 years ago, yeah. Walked into the Morphe store one night right before they closed, and Linda was there working.
The store was smaller than this room, by the way.
Yeah, teeny,
And
teeny,
she was
teeny, teeny.
working in the store.
Yeah, she was working in the store that night. They
I
had a
love her so
total.
much.
I know, I love her so much.
Wow.
They had 12 employees at the time. Walked out with so much stuff, put in my suitcase, went home, and then lost my mind. Got on camera and was like freaking out about it. Like, you guys, these eyeshadows are only $2. They're like basically like MAC. They're the same size. They have so many colors.
For reference, what did like a MAC eyeshadow
Yeah,
cost?
Mac was a
$14
thing back
at the time. I don't know
then.
what they are now.
Okay,
That's
so
10 or $14.
Mac was
$14.
amazing back then.
And that's the thing to like side off is everything good that's ever happened in my career and in my life has always come from such an organic place for me.
Yeah.
So it's like I started YouTube not knowing there was money to be made, and then I made a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
I got on camera freaking out about these eyeshadows, and then that became the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill business became the biggest business for both my best friend and myself that I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but everything always started off from such an organic place of love. So that's why anytime someone's like, "What's your best piece of advice?" I'm like, "Don't get into it for the money. Don't do anything. If your heart's in it, do it. No matter if the price tag is big or small, the money follows the passion."
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Great advice. Yeah.
So what was that time like? Because I feel like I've seen like videos of like the stores or like you just like I'm sure it was just like freaking madness during that time.
It was madness. It was madness. He came in at the tail end of like that era, like the Jaclyn Morphe era, and it was actually insane. Like I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Gosh, I remember they were opening Morphe stores in all these different malls, and they were bringing one to Tampa, which is like our home base. Like everybody.
Which I think was a downfall of Morphe is really competing against Ulta and Sephora with that many, with that much attention. They could have just kept it very demure.
Was Jaclyn's from Tampa. She was so anxious about it that she did not post about the ribbon cutting until 24 hours before, and still there was like 10,000 people just lined up in the mall. They were everywhere, standing on the pretzel stand on the second floor. It was just I was just like, who is this?
You were there for that.
Yeah, I was there for that, but I was just like, what the hell?
What did I sign up
Yeah,
for?
I was like,
It was such a surreal moment because when I was cutting the ribbon, I could see the Nordstrom that I put in my 2 weeks notice to do YouTube.
Shut up.
So it was like in my peripherals as I'm cutting that ribbon. It was just a sea of people, and I could see Nordstrom, and I was so emotional. I cut the ribbon and I went back and I cried so hard. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like I literally worked at that Nordstrom right there at the Mac counter and put in my 2 weeks, taking a chance on myself to do YouTube full time, and here I am a few years later. Insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, beauty changed my life. Makeup changed my life.
So at what point?
Thank you, Grandma.
Literally.
Thank
Wow.
you, Grandma.
Mary June.
Mary June.
Mary June.
Stop.
I know.
Great grandma name.
I know, it really is. Oh God, I miss her.
Okay, I don't know if you guys knew this, but electrolyte deficiency or imbalance
Okay.
can cause headaches, cramps.
So I think that Jaclyn Hill, and I've said this many times before, Jaclyn Hill was just really young, making a lot of money, and just kind of like not really thinking it through. And she ended up just making a lot of mistakes, because she's still relatively young. And like just giving people hundreds and thousands of dollars to work for her just because they're her friends and stuff. And it just not working out when she should have hired like maybe a better staff, pay someone who graduated college or something. I think that it came from a place of love, but ultimately like just it's her. Like Jaclyn Hill messed it up. There's an ad playing, so I'm giving some commentary before we come back, but I just wanted to say like when the issues arrived with the lipsticks, she took way too long to respond. And she should have responded a lot sooner than she did. When you watch people like Jeffree Star and Patrick Star, when they have had issues with their makeup, they respond very swiftly and we move on. Where Jaclyn Hill waited and waited and waited and the drama just kept going. She could have, honestly, just responded a lot sooner and we would have moved on. But because she waited too long to respond, I think it hurt her. And it's those moments in time when she had the opportunity to turn it around and she just waited. She didn't act. That time to be a boss, she didn't act. And she even says in several podcasts that just do collaborations. It's too much work to own your own brand. It's a lot of work, a lot of overhead. Especially when Jaclyn Hill wanted to be like the next Coco Chanel or Christian Dior. I think Jaclyn Hill, if she were to do it all over again, I think the best practice would be just to have a small company, 3 lipsticks, 1 liner, and just make them really good. And have it on your own website. You don't have to do something super huge and big. All right, here we go. She's back.
I want to say for 5 years. I put money aside for 5 years. I mean, from the time I started making like substantial money, like more than just what my bills required, I was putting money to the side because I wanted to create my own line. That was like a pipe dream for me when I worked at Mac. I'm like, it would be so dope to one day like create my own blushes. Like, oh my God, like that was such a far out dream.
Yeah.
That would be like me now dreaming of going to space. Like it's just never gonna happen, but like how cool, So I was just putting money aside. When I met Linda for the first time at the Morphe store, the reason I was in California was to go interview different labs.
Wow.
So that's what I was doing there.
Okay.
And then I didn't launch my own cosmetic brand until like five or 6 years later.
So you got to mention Marlena Steele.
How long it took me.
Wow.
And as I'm meeting with these labs, I'm gaining more and more fault.
Who showed you the labs? Again, she totally bypassed that Marlena showed her the labs.
Millions and millions more people, higher engagement, higher sales.
Can Marlena still leave a heart on this video? Little heart in the comments. Thank you, babe.
And I'm seeing my sales through Morphe, and I'm seeing like the power that I had of talking about product.
Right here. This is when she knew. This is when she knew she was that girl.
I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like I was started off, I was originally told it's going to cost $80,000 to launch the lipstick that you want to launch. I'm like, okay, $80,000 for lipstick. Okay. Well then, within 5 years, they're like, it's going to be more like 1.6 million because we're looking at my sales and how much I'm selling. So like when I would talk about, a product with Morphe, we would see how much would come in sales. And I'm like, oh my God. And if it's my own brand, what's it going to be? So I invested my own money and started my own brand. And I got partners, okay? Got partners right before we launched.
Okay.
Thank God. And launched my lipsticks, which then became the biggest cancellation in the beauty community, I would think.
Because you didn't respond fast enough. And she will never admit that.
Yeah, that was just like...
There was a crack in the earth, in my world.
It was, but the reason why is because it went beyond beauty. Like I had friends and acquaintances that I hadn't talked to in years that were sending me memes about her and her lipstick. Like it was so big that it just like, it was beyond beauty.
Right.
Truly. It was huge. Like people who weren't even in the makeup space were making videos about her.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
So don't get it twisted. We're talking about this light right now because we just talked about a subject on the last episode that was so real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so much heavier than this that now I'm like able to talk about this in a light way.
Yeah.
But don't get twisted. This was the darkest time of my entire life. And he says the darkest time of his.
Yeah, and that's what caused her to start drinking.
Yeah, for sure. I always say when people ask me that, they're like, what's the hardest thing you've ever dealt with? Well, my brother dying was the hardest thing I've ever dealt with, but the hardest thing I've ever gone through, by far, her lipsticks. Because at that point, we had been dating for like a little less than a year, maybe around a year. And, it was amazing. And those lipsticks, dude, when that whole thing went down, I literally lost her. She got lost in it. It was just like, she just went into this like insane depression because it was just like everything that she had worked for just literally crashed.
Yeah.
And it lasted for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So for a newbie like me,
Yeah.
Wow.
can you fill me in on what happened?
Yes. So I worked on my lipsticks for years, okay? Like
Yeah.
redoing formulas, changing colors. I'm like, I just want it to be so perfect. Like I know that I'm gonna sell so many, they have to be perfect. I'm such a perfectionist. Keep in mind, at this point of my life, I had basically not even ever done a sponsorship or a brand partnership. I think I did
All right, guys, here we go.
2 my entire career. I did one with Ulta and I did one with a eyelash company. And that's it. I literally did not take sponsorships or partnerships because I just wanted my audience to know how authentic I was. Like I remember loving a blush, like loving this one blush. And a company reached out to me, the company of this blush reached out to me and offered me a huge amount of money to talk about this blush. Even though I loved it, I turned it down. Because I'm like, just my audience knowing that they're paying me to talk about it, it's gonna come off unauthentic.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Girl, just get on camera and be like, hey guys, so this is a pretty cool blush. The company sponsored me, #ad, okay? And I wouldn't promote stuff I don't like. And it's a decent blush. Like, what's up? Why can't you just say that?
Believe me. And my audience believing in me has always been my number one thing.
Yeah.
To the point that I did not even monetize my videos for several years on YouTube, which is actually insane.
Yeah.
But I did not monetize and put ads in my videos for like 4 years because I didn't want people to think that the only reason I was posting a YouTube video is just for the money and just for the
But you couldn't make money in the beginning, so what are you talking about?
clicks. So that's where my head was at. Can you tell I'm a people pleaser and I really want my audience to know how authentic I am?
Yeah.
I've always been so grateful for this job and the income that comes with it that I'm like, it's okay. I don't have to make that much money because I just want my audience to like believe in me and trust me so that there's longevity in this career.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was so particular about these lipsticks being perfect. Okay. And
Girl, nothing's perfect.
they weren't. Long story short, we launched with hundreds of thousands of SKUs. We sold hundreds of thousands of SKUs and there was defects in them. There was air bubbles in some, there was little white fuzzies on some. They weren't perfect. After, my team did a deep dive on
Here we go. This is the meat potatoes right here.
everything, factually what happened was 2% of them were considered defective, but that 2% was so loud on the internet that you would think
2% that we know of, Jaclyn.
I released like 5 million lipsticks covered in hair. It got so bad. There were so many videos of people talking about these, claiming that there was animal hair in them, that there was feces in them, that there was mold in them, that they were making people sick.
Glass, plastic, like.
And I could not turn on my phone without seeing something about me. And it wasn't just about the lipsticks. People took it to such a place. People were digging into my father,
Yeah.
being like, oh, well, he was a narcissist and she's just like her father. She's a
Well, again, I think that Jaclyn Hill saying she's a people pleaser, I think that's really great. That's really eye-opening, right? But she also is a lot of other things too. And I think that Jaclyn Hill doesn't like. It's like her head is so far up her butt, she doesn't really see like from the. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to be rude. Here we go.
This is just like him. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And they were digging into my mom and trying to talk bad about me as a daughter and talk bad about me as a sister. I mean, it was not just about makeup. Like it became so brutal. It was nothing short of online bullying. But don't get me wrong, some of them were defective, period, 100%. And what drove me crazy internally is I never was able to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I'm not a chemist. I'm not in the lab making these lipsticks.
Yeah.
Taylor's like,
This
wait,
is,
what?
this is the part where I'm confused.
Yeah, give it to me.
I get how this would, hurt and destroy you, but do people think you purposely did this?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't think Jaclyn Hill purposely. I'm glad that Jaclyn Hill is opening up about this podcast, but I don't think Jaclyn Hill is purposely wanting the lipsticks to be ruined, right? I don't think that she took the internet fast enough to address it, and that's what hurt her. I have seen companies really mess up, but they get on camera or they put out a statement quickly. And Jaclyn Hill was just young and bratty and arrogant, and it really messed it up. It really did. And I don't understand why there's no one there, like a PR firm that she had. Like, she should have had a PR firm. Here we go.
Do people think that you are the person in the factories, like in charge of
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
That's where I'm confused.
And that's the biggest thing about the industry that our dear friend is in, is it is an unforgiving.
Yeah.
No, like, I just feel like the makeup world is just like, for some reason, it's
The what? West.
Have you ever heard the beauty community is the ugliest one?
I haven't, but that's like,
And then she's on here with Taylor Lautner, the guy from Twilight, looking all hot. And then that's his wife. She looks all basic. This is the thing, guys. Every time I see this hot guy, he's always with the basic-looking girl. How many times have we been out and about in the mall and we've seen a hot guy with a basic girl? And I'm over here in my high heels, full makeup, full hair beat, nice outfit, and he's with that? Some frumpy looking dumpy. I'm like, oh, girl. It's like, I don't understand why guys, they just go for the basic looking girls. It's so weird. So, girls, if y'all watching this video, y'all don't have to be all dressed up, full beat, full makeup, hair. Guys just like natural looking girls. Okay, here we go. As you can see here we go.
A very known thing. It's sad.
Okay,
It's
so
really
that's
sad.
the thing. Because in my mind, I'm going, there's recalls on cars all the time. Well, there's, like freaking food. Like, things go wrong, and it doesn't destroy companies.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Well, it was very hard because obviously I'm not a chemist. I'm not in the lab. I was speaking to him on the phone nonstop. Keep in mind that the lab that I labbed at was a impeccable lab. If you knew
Oxygen Labs, girl, come on.
if you knew cosmetic labs and I told you the name, you'd be like, what? Like, everybody who makes makeup in the industry knows behind the scenes who I lab with, and they're shocked. They're like, I'm sorry, they're the ones that this happened with? Like, how? Because everybody makes makeup there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was working with some back alley lab, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, just knowing you too, like,
But then it's so crazy because now I see people on TikTok making their lip glosses, making their makeup out of their kitchen, making lip glosses from their apartment. Back in the day, if people found that out, they would, oh my God, contamination is so bad. Da, da, da. And nowadays, I see people straight up on TikTok make you a batch of lipstick, a batch of lip gloss right on TikTok Live, and turn around and sell it in the same video. That's crazy.
I know you would, like, you are a perfectionist, and you do.
yeah, and my
like,
team was perfectionists. My investors were perfectionists, you know? So I talked to the owner, I'm talking to the chemist, and everyone's like, no, there's not mold. It is scientifically impossible. And I'm like, well, there's this video with 6 million views where they test it, and they are saying that there's mold in these lipsticks, and I'm losing my mind. They're like, it is scientifically...
Who is it? Raw Beauty Christie made the video?
They're laughing. They're like, these people aren't chemists. There's no mold in this. And they're laughing, and they're like, just don't watch those videos. I'm like, you don't get it. This is my whole world right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Address it.
Everything I've ever saved for.
I should just be like, hey guys, there's not mold in my lipstick, guys. It's not really that serious. There are people who have their stuff and they're getting it. And listen, if you get the lipstick with hair in it, send it back for a refund. But that's all she had to do. That's all she had to do. Why didn't she do that? This is so stupid that we're sitting here and talking about this years later when she, oh my God, this is frustrating. She could have got on camera. Hey guys, so I've been seeing a couple videos about people find hairy lipsticks and stuff, but let me say this. I stand behind my lipsticks. They're a great product. If you feel that your lipstick is not sickening, send it back and we'll refund you. Okay, easy, like that. All she had to do. She didn't have to get on camera and talk about, I spent thousands of dollars on a lab. I spent thousands of dollars with scientists and research to find out why. Girl, well, I don't care why. It already happened. Just refund the money to those who were affected. Or refund everybody. But the thing is, and I'm going to say it, and Jaclyn Hill won't say this, and no one in the beauty community will. People were shook that Jaclyn Hill was selling the way she was selling. And when they threw that little wrench with the lipsticks on it, everyone jumped in on it because it was a time to be like, we're going to take her down. We're going to take Jaclyn Hill down so we can have money and we can sell our lipsticks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pull out your lipsticks. So this was a way for her to really address the issue and move on. It was a bump in the road, and she really just stopped. You don't stop the whole entire circus for one monkey. That's what I was saying. You keep going. So there's lipstick, there's hairs in the lipstick. Address it quickly. She waited too long. Give people the refund. Here we go, chat.
Destroyed
It was
by
her
this
baby.
perception
Yeah.
of the internet.
And I think for you and for the people who like aren't familiar with this era and what was going on, the landscape at that time of the beauty community was crazy because
I don't even want to hear from Tory Jordan. Like he was all up in the mix. Jordan wasn't even there. He's a side character. I should be sitting in that chair next to Jaclyn Hill. I was there. I saw everything. And behind the scenes. Here we go.
there were these things called gossip channels that were like,
Oh my God. Here's where he mentions me, guys. Get ready. This is why I'm getting thousands of messages. I'm getting thousands of hate comments because Jordan wanted to talk about me. Here we go, guys.
very, very poppin' at the time. And they were basically like people who would, you know,
Report everything, like
report on
TMZ.
stuff, but not everything is factual, right? There's a lot.
Oh, girl.
Is the regular news. There's assumptions, there's theories, and these things are getting just as many views, if not more, than the people that the videos are made about. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember one time T-Spill made a video about Manny Mooch, and T-Spill got more views than Manny Mooch, and he got all mad and struck her video. Y'all remember that? He was all upset about it.
Controversy. Right. So
T-Spill ratio him.
every single day we're getting, you know, we pop up YouTube and it's like new gossip channel videos, and,
Yeah.
and they're all just ripping her to pieces, and the comments are ripping her to pieces. And like, not for nothing, but like, Jaclyn is not a public speaker.
Jaclyn Hill's, look at her sitting right there all sad. Jaclyn Hill, she needs to address stuff. For real. Jeffrey, you know how many times Jeffree Star got on camera and was like, you know what, guys? That's not how it went down. Never Jaclyn Hill does that. Defend yourself, Jaclyn. Have a backbone.
She's not a chemist. She'll sit here and tell you, she's like, I'm not meant to be a businesswoman or a business owner. So when you've got somebody who's panicked because their product that they've just spent the last 5-6 years, you know, working on, it's their baby, they launch it, and then it literally gets shot down like this, you know, she's in a panic herself because she doesn't have the answers, and she's relying on, you know, partners and lab people and all these other people to get these answers, and she's just relaying the message to her followers in a panic. You know, if we could go back in time, I think both of us would agree that if she had just like paused and been like, hey, give me a couple weeks, let me get to the bottom of this, things would have went a lot differently. But because there was just this like panic and people
You know, got a couple of weeks. This is the internet, girl. We want it right here, right now. Go live. Jaclyn Hill could have easily went live. Hey, guys. I'm hearing a couple people say they have hairs in their lipsticks. My bad. If you have that issue, send it back. Give full refund. Well, not even send it back. Keep it. If you have that issue, send me an email with your order number and we will refund you. Keep the lipstick. Throw it away if you want. Keep it memorabilia or something.
answers and all these crazy videos. Like, dude, there were videos where people were like, had her lipsticks, they would sit them down and they were wearing hazmat suits with microscopes. Like that, they took it that far, and these things were getting millions and millions of views, and she's just sitting on the couch bawling her eyes out, dude.
Scream crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that's a pretty
Girl, come on.
hopeless feeling of not. You know the quality and the standard and everything that you've put into this
And not this one over here defending her.
product, and you know the actual fact.
You know. Well, you know. Girl, with holes in her socks.
But meanwhile, you can say the facts and post as many videos as you
Doesn't
want,
matter.
but
They want to
it's-
watch and believe what they want to believe. And just so you know, Taylor, I did give a full refund to every single person who purchased my lipsticks.
You refunded all lipstick?
Every penny. Every single penny. People were in my DMs all nonstop. please do not refund me. I love my lipsticks. I'm so happy with them. Please restock. I want more. I'm almost out. And I refunded everybody. And everyone, my investors were like, this is going to hurt us so bad. This is our first launch and you want to take this kind of hit? I'm like, correct. Because I was in such a panic mode. So panicked. I'm like, every single person is getting a refund. I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
You know?
Refund
Did
for
it help that we
everybody.
were so detached in the sense of like business was going on in California and we lived on the other side of the country. You know what I mean? So it's like we're just on phone calls and waiting, and it was just,
I bought the lipsticks. I bought lipsticks. I got a refund.
it was a
It
nightmare.
was so bad. It was so awful. And then I shut down all my social media for 30 days.
I was gonna ask.
That's how I responded, which was so...
Right here.
I want to...
Right there. Here we go. This is another good part of the video.
Because I don't want to be mean to that version of me, but I just would never do that now.
Yeah.
But I shut down my social media for 30 days because, I mean, I'm telling you, I could not log on to any app. I wouldn't go searching for it. Just getting on any app, just in general. I mean,
You guys share the video. I want 100 shares.
trending on Twitter, everything. It's just... And so I've said many times that was the hardest thing I ever went through. People are like, she's so selfish. She says that that's the hardest thing she ever went through, even though she's been through loss and she's been through death. And I'm like, yeah, it's the hardest thing I've been through. Millions of people, thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are not just telling me I did something bad in business, but they're telling me I'm a piece of shit. I'm a liar. They're calling me every name you can possibly think of. The nastiest things you can say about a person, I was being told about myself every single time I turned on my phone. If I went to YouTube just to go search up a recipe, I would have to see first the front page being videos about Jaclyn Hill being a scumbag, Jaclyn Hill being a narcissist just like her father. It's just like just non-stop. So the way that would affect you to the point that Jordan's friends and him were at a movie theater. A local movie theater. And there's a bar at this movie theater. And they were talking to the bartender.
So we had actually, at this point in time, we lived in Beverly Hills. We were getting some work done on our house, and we were like, let's go to Beverly Hills and we'll collab with people and get work done while they finish the house. So I was going back and forth because I still had my business back home, and I had met up with my friends, and I was like, oh, let's go catch a movie while I'm in town. So we were at this movie theater, and we were sitting at the bar, and it's the same movie theater that, you know, she had rented out the entire room for like all of our family and friends to go watch a premiere. I know we did it for like Endgame and Aladdin. So
I loved it.
yeah, so it was like our local movie theater, and we were sitting at the bar, and I remember it was for the American Influencer Awards because I had flown back to get my tux done.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and the bartender at the bar was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, we're doing this red carpet, me and my wife, for the American Influencer Awards. And he goes, yo, that's crazy. There's an influencer that used to come into this movie theater all the time. And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah. She used to like rent the theater out. She thought she was the shit. But dude, she launched this makeup thing, and it completely crashed and burned, and now she's a nobody. And I was just like looking at him. I was like, dang.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
that's my fiance. And he was just like, but it's like, dude, the bartender at our movie theater was talking about, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it was insane.
That was the...
All right, so the bartender at the local watering hole knows who Jaclyn Hill is. Oh, my God.
I still tipped him 20%, by the way.
Oh, my God. See, Tori, Jordan, this is another one. I would not... You're going to talk bad about my wife, and I'm still going to tip you? Girl, bye. And you're tipping him with Jaclyn Hill's money.
Period. And that's my man. That's just the kind of man he is.
Oh my. Okay, I have two questions. One for you and then one for you. This refund thing is crazy to me. I'm trying to process that.
Yeah, money-hungry Taylor Lautner can't understand the fact that customers come first, and if they don't like their product, refund them. I don't understand how that's hard to understand, Taylor Lautner.
Right, that is
The business in Taylor right now is literally panicking.
I know, it's a lot of people's reactions.
Do you stand by that decision? If you had it all over again, would you do that same?
Oh, my God. Out of all the questions that you could ask, you want to talk about the money.
Thing.
Oh, it's such a hard question, and I've never actually thought about that. I would say no, because I would change the way I did every single thing. If I was forced to go relive that moment and launch those same lipsticks, I would change everything. So I would say no. I probably would not do that refund.
Okay.
I would have taken that money and I would have continued to create incredible products, which we did. But it was very hurtful and impactful to the company, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I would have done things differently. I also would not have just relied on my whole team to tell me what to do. I would have been like, hey, I am actually the boss. I'm going to stop and reflect and figure this out with my followers. And I would have done things differently, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the people please.
But I want to know what you would have done.
You don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So you panicked.
I was also not clear-minded during this time. This is when my drinking picked up like that. This is when it went from fun, let's party on the weekends, to raging consumptions of alcohol, like breakfast, 8 a.m., waking up with vodka orange juice immediately, all day, every day. So how the hell was I making these decisions in a state of mind like that? I'm panicked. Everything I'd ever worked for and dreamt of was crashing to the ground. The internet thought I was a piece of shit. And I'm just filling my body with vodka all day long. What? It's not the place to be making decisions on refunding $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can get back to my question for Jordan later. But
I wanted to talk more about your drinking and about that time and just was it I guess what was your drinking prior? Because I think it was, you kind of touched on it. It was more just what everyone does when they're young and drinking is just going out, with your friends and doing it that way. I guess Can you bring us a little more in?
Oh my God, this lady, whoever she is, she bores me. Like, I can't believe he married her. I would be so, you ever like meet somebody and you're like, oh my God, your voice is so annoying. I just can't, I love you to death. I just can't hang out with you like past 6 hours because it's just like, I need to recharge my battery. Like, her voice is so annoying. Her thought process is so annoying. The way her pants look with the little tears at the bottom, it's just frumpy. You're going to be Taylor Lautner's wife, and that's going to be your look? You're going to interview Jaclyn Hill, and that's going to be your look? This podcast got them a lot of views. This podcast with Jaclyn Hill brought them more views they've seen in a while. And Taylor Lautner's just money hungry about the, you refund everybody? I mean, I just can't understand you. You refund? And then this one is talking in circles. Like, sit down with some people who know the tea. Here we go.
Like, what that day-to-day looked like when it started picking up?
Absolutely. I started drinking during my divorce in a fun way.
Okay.
Because when I was married to my ex, I did not really drink. I did.
Is she gonna mention Trisha Paytas kissing her man on Snapchat with the tongue in his mouth, and they were hooking up and smashing and doing it? Is she gonna mention that?
Here and there, but towards the end, I started drinking because I started,
Or she's gonna people please?
like, I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And so when I was going through my divorce, I started partying. There was nothing concerning. No one was like, oh, weird. I'd take a girl trip to Vegas. I'd party. I'd drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have friends over on the weekends, swim in the pool. Like, whoa, have a good time, drink, you know?
Yeah.
Started dating him. He wasn't a big drinker at all.
I went to college, so I got all my drinking out of the way, and then,
I
my
never
brother
had that
died from
phase.
it. So I was just kind of like jaded, had my own unhealthy relationship with alcohol in the sense of like I just did not want to touch it at all.
So after your brother passed,
Can I just say that this couple, the Taylor Lautner and Miss Frumpy Dumpy over here, can I just say they did no research? Like, the questions that I want to know and just the total vibe of it, I'm just like, it's just a letdown. It's like a nothing burger. But I still love it. I'm entertained. But I'm just like, damn.
because I feel like people either go one way or the other.
Right,
Right. Like,
right.
you were the one that was like, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, because in college, I partied. Like we went out all the time, drank, dorm parties, all that. So it's like
But
I had
normal college
yeah,
party.
100%. Yeah, and then obviously and then I just got jaded towards alcohol in general, and it just I would still drink, but it was like more like on a special occasion type vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when he met me, that wasn't like an issue. Like, my drinking was not a problem. You know, I just would drink to have fun. He would
Yeah, I would.
be there with me. He'd have a drink or two. I'd have a few drinks. And it was just a good, normal, jolly old time. There was nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for a while. That's that. And then lipsticks happened. And I mean, it was overnight. Like, overnight, it was like, oh, I don't understand this mindset looking back on it. I'm like, girl, because I thought that it was helping and numbing me.
Right.
It made things so much worse.
The weed.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought when you said the weed, I thought you meant like marijuana. I was like, I wasn't smoking weed.
No, sorry.
Our metaphorical weed.
Our medical-
She's like,
Yeah, you would have been
she's like, Jordan, do it like we rehearsed.
the weed whipper.
Yes.
In that situation.
Correct. And like I said, I was just drinking all day, every day. You can see that period of my life, not to make it about physical, but let's get real. I mean, I just bloated and got so inflamed and gained so much weight so quickly. I mean, you guys, during that time, the amount of alcohol that I was drinking, you know, like a handle of Tito's,
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah.
I was going through one handle in like 3 days.
Oh my God.
3 days? That one?
Handle would be two full bottles.
Something like that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, that freaking big thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I referenced this time of my life when I say it was the hardest time of my life. Like,
And like
I don't want to like say a trigger word, but I'll just say I did not want to live at that point.
Wow.
I was genuinely, I remember telling my mom, don't worry about me because I'm not going to do it. But I pray every single night that I don't wake up the next day. That's where I was at.
yeah.
And I'm able to talk about it now in a more lighthearted way because I've healed from it. And we, like I said, we talked about something so much bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, but yet she divorced John Hill because he was an alcoholic, ? And that was a comment left by Kayla _ELIZA23.
Hindsight on the last episode, but that's where I was at. I mean, I did not care to live anymore. That's where it put me. It was like everything I've ever wanted and hoped for. I just saw my life being over at 30 years old. It was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Two things. So one, while I feel like this is just like a great point to bring.
Oh my God, Jordan, shut up. Nobody wants to hear from you, Jordan. Like I said, you weren't in the mix. You're outside looking in. Girl, get out of here.
While she's going through all this, she did put on like a ton of weight, and it became apparent.
That's when you kind of swept in and you saw the wounded rabbit that she was, and you were like, okay, now's my time to make my move.
But it's like, not only were people calling her out on that, but now all these videos are coming up being like Jaclyn Hill's face full of filler, and it's just
I
like,
know that.
I remember that video.
and we're not saying anything because, right, if you acknowledge it, it gets bigger. But I'm just like, oh my God, this girl is going through so much, and now she's got these videos online of like plastic surgeons diagnosing. Yeah, clearly you can see here she had filler put in her cheeks, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding.
Botox gone wrong. That's why she looks like a chipmunk. And it's like, here I am, like on the verge of dying from how much alcohol I'm consuming.
Like,
and now
I'm
they're
just trying
calling
to
me
mask my
fat.
pain.
Yeah, and I think another reason, because some people might listen to this and watch this and just be like, well, just turn YouTube off. But at this point in Jaclyn's life, like,
Okay.
we had
I gotta hear this.
been dating not that long. So Jaclyn Hill online was Jaclyn.
Yeah.
Like she
It was
did,
my identity.
her identity was not, there was not like online Jaclyn and Jaclyn in real life. So like watching her image get burned to the ground was actually her, like,
Yeah.
it was
That was me.
her. Yeah. So now there's a healthy balance there. In retrospect, that would have been nice at the time.
Now? Because she doesn't get online.
Yeah, dude, like she was literally watching like the death of herself unfold online, and it just sent her into this like spiraling depression. It was insane.
I feel like we are all in our
Okay, so they're painting the picture. Hold on.
wellness.
They're painting a picture like, woe is me, I'm Jaclyn Hill, people are coming for me, I'm a multi-millionaire, and people are making videos exposing me and dissecting my relationship with people and stuff. It's like, I don't ever see any like true accountability in this video. In this podcast, I've yet to see Jaclyn Hill take some true accountability in this podcast. I don't see it at all. And I'm not trying to be a hater because I'm watching the podcast. I just don't see Jaclyn Hill making like, hey guys, you know what? This is what I would have done better. This is what I would have done. Not just, oh gosh, I would have done better. I would have done things differently. This, you know what I'm saying? Again, her face is swelling up like a chickmunk. I remember her face got really big and round, and she never got on camera and said, hey guys, like, I see y'all making videos about the way I look now, but it's just because my face is swollen because I'm drinking a lot of alcohol and I'm like spiraling out of control and I'm a drunk. So like that's what's going on. She never said. She, again, not addressing it.
No, you guys were just dating at that point. Yeah. But being the partner to somebody and watching them go through something like that, what did life look like for you during that time? Because I'm
Why is he talking like that?
hopeless.
Oh yeah.
Why? It gets that
I
serious.
literally couldn't do anything. Like I was jumping on like the calls with
I'm telling you what, guys, this podcast is bringing them so many views. They're going to have her on again. They're going to be like, hey, can you talk about this a little more? Dude, so I hope that they read the comments and watch videos such as mine and be like, you know what? Let's take this feedback and let's address the feedback. So this person said this. What do you think about that, Jack? Like, I would love that. That would be the video I would watch too.
the labs and the partners and trying to help. But like outside of that, the fallout that she was dealing with like online and in her life, there literally was nothing that I could do besides just like be there. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say like my words fell on deaf ears, but it's like she had to go through the grief, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it was. It was just extreme grief. And it's like she had to go through that on herself. And, she would always ask me, like, why are you with me? Why are you with me? Right.
Every day.
Yeah. And she was always like, I don't know why you're with me. And I always told her, like, I even made a video for her 1 year sobriety.
I was going to tell the story.
Yeah. Where I was just like, I always told you, like, you'll be back. You'll be back. Because honestly, before the lip
She's like, Jordan, I was going to tell this story, Jordan. You messed it up for me.
happened, the life that like I got to experience with her as my partner was just like the love, the relationship, the laughs, the deepness. It was just like so beautiful. It was like storybook, and it got snatched away from both of us. And I always knew like, hey, this is temporary. And although it's bad right now, and like, God forbid her career is over, like she will eventually come out of this and I'll have that girl back. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't about the career for me. It was about who Jaclyn was
Jaclyn
inside.
back,
Yeah. And I just always told her like, I know you don't feel this right now, but you'll be back. I promise you'll be back.
Wow.
In my video that he made last week, which they were a part of, you guys sent in such a sweet, beautiful clip.
Jaclyn recently celebrated 1 year of
We'll get
sobriety.
into it.
But he said that in the video. He said, I've always told you you'll be back and you're back and you're better than ever. I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah.
I asked him every night of our lives for like 3 years, why are you with me? I'm so fat. I bring nothing to the table and everyone hates me.
He's like, yeah, but you're a multi-millionaire. I love you so much. I'll stay with you. You're a billionaire.
Why are you with me? And he's like, because you'll be back. This is a hard time. And one day I'm going to go through a hard time. I know I will. And I know that you love me enough to sit through this, just like I am.
Wow.
Yeah. this man really deserves
It was
an
tough,
award.
dude. And, I'll say this, like, there's a silver lining in everything, right? And although that was miserable to go through me as her partner, just watching her have to go through everything, and but obviously more for her. But, like, we genuinely pulled so many gems out of that storm.
100%.
Like, just separating her internet life versus her real life, like, making that boundary mentally, and just, like, all the retrospect, like, I had to grow up so much. Like, those 2 years, I swear I matured 20 years. Like, that changed me in a completely different way. And there's so many little things that I could say that came out of that. But yeah, dude, it was really a crazy time. And, like, I'm so happy that chapter is closed. But it was insane.
Yeah.
Like, on my deathbed, I'll remember that era because it was terrible.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you that made you stop?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I looked at myself in the mirror and I did not recognize myself physically and emotionally. I had become someone that I hated. I had become someone that I, previously in life would have judged. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
if I was not me right now and I did not if I was not walking in my shoes, I would be looking at me being like, get it together.
I wonder if she got work done after that too, like liposuction and stuff like that.
Not want to be friends with me right now.
Yeah.
I felt all that so deeply and I hit my rock bottom.
Because she's all this Jaclyn's journey. Like, I wonder if she got lipo.
Hit that point where I'm like, what am I doing? This is just, and it goes back to like, I always think about this, like you have to choose your hard, right? Like drinking every day, gaining weight, being just like so inflamed. It's hard, right? It's so hard. Quitting drinking, deciding to get up and go on a long walk and work out. It's hard. So which hard do you want? Like choose your hard. Which one? Because this is not easy. Me sitting here in this depression and sulking and not taking care of myself. This is not easy. So why am I doing this? So I was like, I'm going to choose a different version of hard. And it was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Extremely.
I was going to ask, because you've talked about how, like, when you first stopped, you were just going to do it for a month, right?
Yeah.
And then you got a month, and you were like, I'm going to do it for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then you got 3 months, and you said, I want to go for a year.
Yep.
How difficult was that first? Because I imagine the first month is terrible, and even the first 3 months is terrible. So what within you was like, this is so terrible that I'm going to
keep
go
going.
for it?
Right? Okay, so first of all, I want to say I was very strongly advised by people to not tell my audience how much I was drinking. I was very strongly advised, like, don't open up about this. Don't consider it an alcohol problem.
But okay. That's like old school type of thinking. People, if Jaclyn Hill would have got on camera and was like, I'm a drunk and I'm messing up and I'm spiraling, guys, click, 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 click. People want to watch that. People want to watch her have a panic attack. People want to watch her go to the gigs. People want to watch her cry on camera. That's what people want to watch. But when you're trying to like fake it and hide it and come across like everything's perfect, born in the house. People want real. You made this far in the video, hashtag real rich lux in the comments.
Say, I was just having a glass of wine a night. Keep it light. And I'm like, what? Like, but that's not the truth. And I've always been so authentic with my audience. Like, what?
Yeah.
And so at first I kind of took that approach. I wanted to be like careful about it online.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a year into it, I'm like, you guys are gonna know everything. Because now I'm aware how many people struggle in a very real, very deep way with alcohol. And at the end of the day, we're all playing with fire. Like alcohol is poison. I'm sorry. And I'm saying this as someone who thoroughly enjoyed being drunk and buzzed and all the things. But like you are playing with fire. It's poison. It's not good for you. It makes you feel great in the moment, feel like shit the next
get
day.
something to drink.
It's so highly addictive. It screws up your brain. And yet we're all doing it for fun, So it's like, let's have a real conversation. Let's talk about this. And I think that our generation is like the first generation to really have open conversation about like, I'm drinking mocktails. I'm detoxing my body. The brain clarity that I'm having, the way it's helping my anxiety, the way it's helping me sleep. I'm getting better workouts in. It's like, I am so proud to be in this generation because like we're so health conscious in the best way possible. What?
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you, babe. You're so sweet. Like, you're looking at me. Oh my God, stop looking at me. I forgot what I was saying because I saw that look in his eyes.
She's got the butterflies.
I did get a little butterfly. Anyways, what was the question?
Now she don't remember. I'm about to drink this thing it's a brand called Slate. Not sponsored, although I should be. It's a brand called Slate. I got at HEB or HEB. It's caramel latte, 20 grams of protein. So, take that out.
Just what that first month,
Yes.
that first couple months were like for you. What made you want to keep going?
So I was trying to hide that first month a little bit. I only like documented certain parts because that first month was insane. It was so hard. The night that I decided, I poured out the bottle of Tito's and I was like, we're done. Because at that point I was genuinely only having a couple of drinks a night, like two cocktails a night. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm done. It was right after my birthday. I felt like alcohol ruined my birthday and it ruined my trip to New York. And I was like, I watched the Jay Shetty podcast with Tom Holland and I was so inspired by the way Tom Holland spoke about sobriety.
Yeah.
It was such an attractive outlook on life that I was like, I want to feel that so bad and I know I can.
Yeah.
And I used to always tell Jordan, like, I miss who I used to be. And I want to get that girl back so bad, but I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just try this out for a month.
Yeah.
And it took everything. I mean, I was drinking, there's this drink Beam. Do you guys know Beam? I was drinking that every single night to help me to sleep. I was taking melatonin baths. I was working out twice a day, going on walks, going and getting in HIIT workouts, making myself sweat. I mean, I was doing
Hey, not bad. It's pretty good. I wish I would have shake it up a little bit.
absolute most to wear myself out, to calm myself down. And then I wanted to go just a couple of nights. And then I'm like, a couple of nights, and I'm like, I'm going a full week. And Jordan's like, you are? I'm like, yeah, I'm going a full week. And he was like, so impressed.
Yeah, I was hype. I was like, what?
And I was like, I used to do this all the time. I used to just go a whole week and not even think about alcohol. So I'm going to do it now. And I wanted to go a month. And he's like, a whole month. And then I went to my therapist.
Yep.
And she was like, I want you to go a whole year.
Oh.
And I was like, I will be damned. And she's like, I want you to go a whole year because you're going to be shocked. She's like, if you go 1 year, you're going to look back at 2 and 3 months and be like, wow, I was still so weak compared to now. And she was like, just try it, go a whole year. So I did go a whole year. I texted my therapist back in Tampa and told her, I was like, today's the 1 year mark.
Oh my gosh.
And her text.
Hey, guy, you know what? As much hard time to give Jaclyn, I think that's pretty cool that she went a whole year sober.
So beautiful, so sweet.
Although, I got to complain about it. I do wish that she talked more about AA meetings and she was attending one all the time, a weekly meeting, and staying consistent and not being like a dry drunk. That's like a term. And just like going and talking about her coin and all that stuff like that. I would love that.
Wow.
And just like, I can't believe I did it, but it was really her that pushed me to do that. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for therapy. It's like, sometimes you need that outside party just to like really kick your ass.
Yeah.
And be like, listen, it's cute that you want to go a month or two, but like, you're going to go a whole year. She's like, if you really love yourself that much, you're going to go a whole year. And now that I'm here, I am so grateful that I did not give in at 3 months or 4 months or 5 months because my relationship and outlook on alcohol now is so different than it was 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now I'm genuinely like, I do not need it. I don't desire it. I don't care about it. We're done.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth mentioning, she's not giving herself the credit that she needs to, but during that whole era where she was like drinking a lot and going through the lipsticks, she also dealt with like massive anxiety, like didn't get out of bed for days type anxiety.
Yeah. I heard through rumors that she doesn't really get out of the bed most of the time anyway.
And it's like, again, we bring up the weed because, people ask me, she asked me like, how come it didn't bother you? Like, your brother passed away from alcohol abuse and like, I know I'm drinking a lot because I was like, there's a root to this. Like, you're not just drinking because you like alcohol or you like to be drunk. Like there's a root cause to this. And in order for her to get to the point where she was only had a couple drinks a night and then poured the bottle out, she had to put in so much work on herself. The thing, I say it all the time, the thing that saved her life was neurofeedback. There was a neurofeedback office that was a few minutes away from our house. And like, she was so anxious at that point that she couldn't even leave the house. So the fact that it was just around the corner, she started going. And then that was basically her attacking anxiety head on, right? Like that's what helped her balance her brain out, get over the anxiety, like work through that. And like when she got to that point, then she started exercising. And it's like, then she started sewing into herself, taking care of herself. And she probably did a minimum year of that work before she even got to the point where she was like, I'm done drinking. So it was like a year and a half of just her putting in work on herself, eating clean, dieting, in order to get to the point where she could be like, I'm done drinking. Got it. So it was, there's a lot more to it. Like you put in so much more work than you give yourself credit for.
Right.
Thanks, baby.
Seriously. No, that's why I say it all the time. I'm like, you're a champion. Like you're such a beast.
Thank you.
And here we are. You did it. You celebrated a year.
I did. I can't believe it, actually. My former self
So
is like,
proud of
what? A year without alcohol? Oh my God. Insane.
Jord, what's the biggest change you have seen in Jaclyn since sobriety?
When I tell you she is a different person, she's a different person. It was all consuming at one point, and it's just it's not like that anymore. If I look at the very end of when she was drinking a couple cocktails a night, which I think a lot of people can relate to, hard day at work, I'm gonna go have a glass of whiskey at the bar. I'm gonna go have a couple beers when I get home. Like that's the American standard, I feel like,
Yeah.
I would say the biggest difference in her is her excitement to live.
Yeah.
It's like she wakes up every day with a sparkle in her eye and a fire under her ass, which just was not like that, even when it's a couple drinks, you know what I mean? And she's just so happy, dude. Like, she's happy, she's thriving, she's Jaclyn. She's back to, I could bawl my eyes out right now.
So, is this like the end of it? Like, is this like the way they're wrapping it up?
Sweet angel.
Yeah, she's back to herself, Yeah.
I love
Ooh,
you.
I'm proud of you.
I love you so much. I love you. I want to say, I want to say that for me, I know you're going to ask me, but I'm going to chime in so that he doesn't start crying too hard. I just want to say that this past year, the biggest difference in myself that I've noticed is you can't cancel me now.
Oh, wow.
Bar.
I'm being serious. I didn't mean for it to like come off like that, but genuinely, you can make any videos you want and make as much money off of, hating on me and speculating and whatever it may
here
be.
we go.
Because guess what? I have the option to shut down all my social medias and walk away. And I did literally not see that as an option ever.
Yeah.
My entire identity was in my online presence. And now my entire identity has nothing to do with that. That's something that I choose to do. I love my loyal followers. I'm so excited to share recommendations with them and have that online community and that presence. But I genuinely no longer look. I don't care. You have something to say about me. You don't know me. You can't cancel me. And if it gets really dark online and affects my mental health, bye-bye.
Hey, guys.
Bye-bye.
I'm live right now, that's why.
Yeah. And the next thing I do, I'll do it because I want to be. I want to be doing it. And that's it.
And that's growth.
And I'm the happiest I've ever been online, ever. I love what I do now.
You can tell. I feel like you just.
This
'cause obviously
podcast
before
is getting
I was
good.
watching some of your older YouTube videos.
Remember
And
Jaclyn Hill?
I'm not just saying, like, I genuinely feel like you can tell.
She's
Like,
just-
you can just, there is that sparkle in your eye. Like, your
You
presence
watched
is
the
here and you're, like,
podcast?
excited about it. Thank you.
It makes me so happy.
And it's really.
And it's not
But
fake
this
this
is the
time.
new
It was
one.
fake for so
Came
many
out
years.
today.
So many years.
Yeah. Quick little thing that, something that you shared is like, there's a big misconception about like, something you struggled with was like, am I still going to be fun if I quit drinking? Like, I don't want to, not be fun. And I feel like that's something a lot of people can relate to. What advice would you give to someone that is battling, like they want to quit drinking, they want to be sober, but they have that thought in their head?
I am going to be so real, like a big older sister would be, and not fluff it up.
Yeah.
You probably won't be as fun for a while.
Okay.
And that's okay. That's why do you feel the need to show up and be the most fun person in the room? Why is it your job to entertain your friends?
Yeah.
Are they only friends with you because you're entertaining, because you're fun, because you're funny? You don't have to have this jolly old time all the time. You can take a month or two off and cry it out and feel your pain and heal your wounds and not have as much fun and not be as fun for the long-term goal, right?
Yep.
I was not as fun at first. I was not a good time. I lost a lot of friends because of that. I said it, I did like a Q&A on my story this week and I said it, not everybody wants the best for you. They just want to have fun with you. And that's okay. They're in your life for a season and that's okay. But you probably won't be as fun there for a while. But I now have more fun than I ever had. I still consider myself to be the life of the party. I show up, I karaoke until 3 o'clock in the morning, I dance my ass off, I sweat my makeup off, and I wake up the next morning and I can go to Pilates at 8 a.m. if I want. It's just so good.
Yeah, that's so true.
But it took a while to get there.
Yeah, so that was just the not being fun part was just a
it's a period in time. And
now
like,
you're through that.
exactly.
Yeah, you definitely still are the life
So I was
of the
gonna
party.
say,
I mean,
In the best way. In the best way.
it's very much a butterfly moment. You know what I mean? You go into that cocoon and you got to rebuild. You got to recreate
Over
yourself.
here with his bars, he's just, I'm a butterfly. Like, yes, we can
Fly, Jack, fly.
No, seriously, it was like that 4, 5, 6 month mark. It's like she just came out of her shell, and it was just like, holy, she's back.
Right.
She's back. I went to Ireland to go film Next Level Chef, and when I left, at that point, she had gone 2 months without a drink.
He had to
And
drop
then
that.
When I came back, she had lost like 10 or 15 pounds
In 5
just,
weeks.
In 5 weeks, and just looked like insanely different, behaved insanely different. I was just like, whoa.
And he couldn't stop talking about it. The first 2 days he was home, he's just like, I can't stop looking at you. You look so different. You're behaving so different.
With her only 2 months in, were you afraid to leave?
No, I wasn't, because at that point she was so like set in her ways, and she had those conversations with her therapist, and she was surrounded by.
He also shipped me off to Linda. So I was in California with Linda for 5 weeks, and Linda is like would never allow me to have a sip. She's like locked up all the alcohol, like not on my watch, bitch.
Yeah.
So I was here with her, and we just literally did our Legree every day, went on our walks, ate our healthy food. Like she supported me that whole time.
Wow.
Like my sister.
Yeah, that's her wife.
Yeah.
She's my wife. That's her wife. Yeah.
Yesterday I was about to leave with Linda, and he's like, yeah, how is it? But I said I'm leaving my husband to go to my wife's house.
Funny. That's funny.
Accurate.
And that's such a huge thing. And I will have to say that is something I had to my advantage, and I fully I own that. Like I lost a lot of people, which was hard, but I had an incredible support system.
Yeah.
And so I cannot imagine how hard, because I know people that have to do it, how hard it is to get through alcoholism, addiction without a support system. Like that's a different beast.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to people is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
That's when honestly, that's when you
They
start
seem
talking
like
about
they're
it.
wrapping
that's
it up
step
at
one,
this
you
part,
know,
like the
because
vibe.
she didn't talk about it at all for a
seems
long
like it's
time.
No one does.
Over.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so unfair. There's alcohol everywhere you go. Okay, 6 a.m. at the airport, everyone's drinking. There's alcohol everywhere, but yet it's not okay
Yeah.
to get addicted to it, even though it's such a highly
Right
addicting
there, see?
substance. We're only supposed to use it for partying, but then
Yeah,
once we
well,
become addicted to it and we
you
have an
wanna
issue,
say
we
hi or
have to like keep it in the closet and not talk about
Okay.
it. Like what the hell is that all about? We need to be having more conversation about that, because even if it doesn't get to the point where it got for me, it's like the majority of
I'm
people
giving
in my life have
commentary. I'm
alcohol
watching it.
but no one wants to talk about it, and no one wants to say they have a problem.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
We need to be talking about this more.
Yeah, it's part of the problem.
For sure. Well, thank you for talking about it. You were literally advised not to, and here you are.
I know.
So thank you.
Those people are no longer in my life.
Oh wow.
Bye-bye.
Going rogue.
Okay, some fun stuff.
Okay, cute.
What's next for you both?
Okay, here we go. What's next?
Should we tell him?
Oh,
Imagine if I had a pregnancy announcement right now. Imagine the views. numbers.
I would literally pass away. Hey, you are a businesswoman.
What?
Yeah, it's the business in you. I mean, do you want to share a little bit of fun stuff about Jordan?
Yes,
Because you're literally his number one fan.
I am Jordan's number one fan.
Aside from Jaclyn, obviously. But.
Get out of here. Yeah, sorry, I'm Jordan's number two.
How is Taylor Lautner's
so
number
our
one
mutual
fan? I
friend
don't get
PK,
that.
talking to the audience is the reason that we're all friends in the first place. PK and Mike, it was their wedding. But he said to us last year, he's like, listen, when we're with the Taylors, they are obsessed with you. And when we're with you guys, you are obsessed with them. So can you guys please just become best friends already?
So funny.
We have brief interactions and I'm like, I love him so much.
Oh my
Mike
gosh.
and PK.
Yes,
We've made it happen.
Yes.
But no, Jordan is an insane chef. And I am a very amateur chef. I'm not even a chef. I just cook for fun. But Jordan has become my go-to text message, recipe.
We'll leave a link to his YouTube channel below in the description.
Oh my
because
gosh.
Taylor watches a lot of those videos.
Oh yeah, I'll just be like, have you ever made a
whole chicken?
whole
that
chicken,
night, the whole chicken
scallops, a New York steak sandwich, and he's always made whatever I'm asking for. So he just sends me his YouTube video, and then is like, FaceTime me and call me, throughout.
Yeah.
And he has changed my cooking game.
really
But
has.
he also recently was on a show called Next Level Chef.
Oh my
which,
God.
Our bestie Gordon Ramsay was on.
I know. He's like, I'm not even a chef. I'm like, yeah, Gordon's in your DMs.
Hi, chef.
And he came in the final four as a social media chef. There's literal Michelin star restaurant owner chefs in this show.
Yeah.
And Jordan, cooks on social media and came in the final four on the show. It's unbelievable and such a testament to truly how talented he is.
Oh, thanks, dude.
So I'm just, I'm the biggest fan of you, but I'm so excited for your future as well. So
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I guess
it.
just what are your dreams, goals, hopes? Will you do makeup again?
So wow, this is me speaking so candid because I'm just so comfortable here in your house. As of right now, there is nothing in the works for anything. Like right now, I'm just like, where's the wind gonna blow me? I know wherever it is, it's gonna be great. We're really, really excited to start a family.
Yeah.
Want to expand our dog family.
Yeah.
We love our home so much, focusing on just like creating more, making that even more of a home by decorating, and want to create an incredibly beautiful backyard and get it ready for to be just like such a safe space for babies and travel more. And I definitely am not done with makeup. Definitely. I will redo my lipsticks. I will. I actually did redo them. I don't know if you saw that. I posted it on Instagram.
Oh wait, I think I did.
I did a full photo shoot and everything, like fully reformulated.
Oh,
We
she
the
did
whole
show
thing,
us
had a
that she
terrible
had-
feeling about it. We had one little slip up happen. I said, pull it. We're not doing this. And my team agreed with me. They're like, nope, we're not taking a chance because it just needs to be so perfect. And the timing wasn't right. I was just still drinking, still not where I wanted to be. I'm like, it's just not right. So at one point, I will launch the Redemption Collection. I will launch that, and I swear I'm gonna call it that.
I literally just got chills. Actually,
Oh,
The Redemption Collection.
Wow. But didn't she? I remember she launched liquid lipsticks, and she was like talking about this is my comeback. She did that before,
Yeah.
and I guess I don't think people are tapping into her as much as they. Not because of anything she did. It's just people just aren't excited about makeup like they used to be.
in my body.
I'm going to. I have like a whole marketing campaign. It's gonna happen, and I don't know if I'll do it on my own. If I did it on my own, I would have partners. I'd be very honest, like, and vocal about that because I'm never gonna own my own business right out.
Yeah.
It's not meant for me. I see what it did to me. It might be a collaboration. I have no clue, but at one point I do want to do that. I would love to create a perfume one day. Like,
Oh,
love.
you need to do that.
Really
That's
want to
very on brand for you.
But I'd also be really cool with being a mom and supporting him. Like I'm in awe
She's
by how
supporting
talented he
him?
is. Like it's crazy. You guys, he did not cook when I met him. Did not cook. Owned his own business and did filming.
This is weird
for
that
people
this
and video-
guy
a video
never
and
cooked
photography, and that's it. He did not
before.
cook at all.
My entire cooking journey is based on a lie that I told her. We had been dating, and I was just like, oh, I can cook, right? And she was just like, really?
I thought it
And
was
I was
the
like,
hottest thing. I
yeah.
was like,
And for some reason, it's so funny because I didn't even know what it mean. But I always used to tell people like, oh, I can make a mean
And then he
eggplant
started a
parmesan
cooking
because I thought it
channel on
sounded so
YouTube,
like,
which I've never
whoa,
seen
and my
not even
grandma
one
used to make it.
episode.
Like duck
So that's-
coffee.
Yeah,
One
that's what I told
video.
her. And then I just started watching YouTube videos, and I was like, oh, this could be better. And then I started like tweaking recipes that I was making from other people, and she's like, no, you're so good at this. Why don't you just film yourself? And I was like, absolutely not. And she's like, no, I think you should try it. So I did, and here we are. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And that was only like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah. I was gonna say in like 4.5 years, you went from starting to cook for the first time to being on Team Ramsay. Like that's how fast it happened.
That's so
It
crazy.
went quick.
Yeah, dude. Like, I couldn't even cook eggs 4 years ago.
That is nuts.
I would love to
So
sit back and
you're
watch him.
you're
take
in
off.
your lane. You're like this is where you're supposed
You know what's
to
so
be.
crazy is my life, not to go too deep down a rabbit hole.
Oh
but
my- I don't
feel
wanna
like
hear
my
about-
lane changes all the time. I'm just like a creative guy.
I don't
want to
hear about Jordan's life right now,
and then it
bro.
was like video to talk about
Might
that.
know a guy. Might know a guy.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I have one more question for you guys.
Here we go.
And then you are released.
Wow.
Thank God. Last question.
No, this has
day.
been so good, and I'm just.
If
so
it's not a
thankful
good
for
question, I'm logging
both
off.
of you, just opening up and being so vulnerable, talking about some tough topics, but I know you both are in this conversation. It's going to help so many people. So, first of all, thank you truly for being here. We love you guys.
Come on,
so
get to
much.
it.
You guys are so great. We love you too.
My final question for you, and it's for you both,
He kisses her ass the whole time.
is
I get
you
it.
both are getting to know you guys, you're both so strong individually, but you are truly unstoppable as a couple. Like when we look at you guys,
Oh my
and your
God, come
relationship,
on.
and taking these two
He's
unbelievable
just, like, kissing her
individual
butt.
humans
I love
and
it.
put you together, you guys are unstoppable.
What?
That's so sweet. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I want to ask both
Church
of you this,
bro.
but Jaclyn, I'll start with you.
Church bro.
Where would you be today without this man?
Oh, don't
Oh,
care.
God.
Yeah, boring ass question. Why that question though?
Because they're gonna segue into like a marriage, like business something.
I wonder if if Jaclyn Hill's husband was like, "Hey, ask her this question." I don't know. All right, you guys, that was my video just reacting to the new podcast. Leave a like, leave a comment. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me and watching it. And yeah, it's my first time doing these, so if you're gonna judge me kindly. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.